The
as
talks
bad
have
as
started again, Steven. The talks have started again. Another
as
loss.
yeah,
Is that 11?
yeah. Well, it's 11 unbeaten. Well,
11 on
11 no wins.
on,
Yeah.
on uh in our Bittencourt. I do want to talk about him at some point on the show because he doesn't get enough love. He gets hate actually for being a guy that's literally been everywhere and done a little bit of everything, but has never been consistent. So we will touch on that because it was a heck of a goal. Noble couldn't do anything with it. 34 minutes in. From a Bayern standpoint, we were happy to see that. I was happy to see that because I thought, oh my gosh, Noble's going to come out here and you know pull a Schubert, and then it's like, what are you going to do? At least he had a good day. I mean, it's only one goal, but Chaga still.
Yeah, that first half was not pretty in terms of offense. For them, second half obviously was a lot better for whatever
No,
reason.
I know. Well, I mean, you can look.
Yeah,
You can look. Force
I don't know.
substitutions brings in these hacking players. Uh,
Yeah,
I, I don't have a lot of faith in this team, but I honestly believe had he started this lineup, maybe a draw, maybe even a win for the Royal Blues.
yeah,
Mm,
They looked much better in the second half. They actually had chances, and if you,
yeah.
I mean, watching that one because the commentators were talking about it. First half, Bremen controlled the whole first half, like just choking Schalke out of it. I thought that it was going to end up being, floodgates are going to open because we know how porous that defense is. Once they let that goal in and confidence is gone, and Wagner decides, okay, I'm going to defend even more. Yeah. But no, I like the changes at halftime. I mean, he did a bunch all at once. I mean, he basically did four like early on into the second half, and it paid off. I mean, I thought Gregorich was okay. Um, but he's still something right.
Yeah, and I don't obviously your possibility of getting Harit and Masquerade back this weekend can boost the side, but obviously Harit's been there for how many weeks and he hasn't done anything. So you can't really say, oh, well, we're going to give him Harit back and everything's going to be back to normal because he hasn't done anything either. But that those changes, I think, especially with Ramen and Kutaku coming in,
Right. Well, why don't you
you
start with that?
yeah, I think you have going forward, you have to put that, like you have to put them in the starting lineup going forward. Even Bujalev, like even
Like,
how he was playing, um, you have to put him in somewhere.
especially without Suat. You're not getting Suat
Yeah,
back this season. I
right.
think Butlev is a good, Suat Jr.
Yeah,
McKennie, I wanted to talk about McKennie a little bit. Um, to me, it almost seemed like he was frustrated in that one. He picked up the early yellow. He had a couple warnings after that. I was really concerned that he was going to get the red. Uh, it's hard to gauge because I do want to switch gears at some point and talk about, uh, a lot of the protests and everything that are going on. I'm sure he had a lot on his mind. He was the first player this weekend um, to wear anything for George Floyd and just everything that's going on here in the States. Um, Rest in peace to him. And yeah, I just wonder, was that the impact? Is he frustrated by what's going on at Schalke? I mean, I'm sure it could be
all of it.
all of it, right? But they've been talking about him, talking about does he need to go ahead and leave Schalke based on where things are standing. I think Alexi Lawless was talking about it. Obviously, being a U.S. national team player, they want what's best for him, and a lot of times for them that means going to the Premier League. Again, that's their words, not mine. But yeah, I don't know. I really wish the kid well because I think he means a lot to that team. And if there is a rebuild, I know that he'll continue to be, the core of that team, but just wasn't too impressed with his showing this week.
And everybody's going to be pointing their fingers at different directions for this fall. Like you go, oh well, it's Wagner's fault. Oh well, it's the defense's fault. Oh, it's the goalkeeper's fault. Oh, it's not. The main issue is they're not scoring. That's the main issue. So for whatever reason, they're not scoring. You have to figure that out, and then you can kind of figure everything else out as it goes. You if you score if you score 3 goals and you still lose, then you can say, okay, well now we need to work on the defense. Yeah.
Or early season Dortmund.
or like when they played Dusseldorf in the very first half, right in the first game, every time they scored, Dusseldorf was scoring right back on them. Like those are games you can't let up on, especially on defense.
No,
but
for a manager that's talking about he's implementing more defensive tactics, and we've seen that evolution. They've become more and more defensive, less and less goals. I mean, and this like again with this game, it wasn't a poor defensive effort. I mean, you held Bremen, who's been a good side lately, to only 1 goal. But if you're like you said, if you're not scoring goals, you're not winning.
Yeah.
And that I chalk up to the manager. Hot seat rating, we threw it out the window last week, Steven. He's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you had won that game, I think he still has to go. I know Schneider publicly is saying we're going to back him.
But he's been quiet this week. He's been quiet this week.
Yeah, he's been very quiet this week.
That one is really interesting to me because he came out and made those remarks. You have another performance like that after you back the manager. I got kind of the same feeling what happened with Kovac when they were like, all right, we're backing this guy. We're backing this guy. Then all of a sudden KHR and Oli are kind of quiet. I don't know. I think it's enough on that. Keep a look on our Twitter feed this week because any news with Wagner, we will break it. I think
I will say this as closing remarks for this. I think moving to Newell was the correct decision, and he should continue with that going forward.
I like it. I agree. We'll leave it at that.
I mean, think about it. Like
he's your best keeper.
Outside of that Leipzig game.
Yeah, he's your best keeper. But we know that. We know that, Stephen. The only reason that he did it is spite Bayern. No, that's the only reason. You don't take out your best player. It's still on a contract. Your best.
I mean,
honestly, your best player.
Well, they didn't do it to Goretzka when he.
Right, and that's why they're like we've had a history of being pushovers, and now we're gonna stand up to the man. It's like that's your fault. And and another thing is like take advantage of him while you still got him.
Right.
Like why are you gonna shoot yourself in the foot for being idiots? Like at least
it's not like he's upping his value or anything.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but again he's unless you're slotting him at striker. I don't think that he's gonna make the difference. You need goals, but it's tough.